Who is the most generic rock band ever? There's a whole bunch of 1980s hair bands that are indistinguishable from each other in terms of sound, lyrics, and appearance. We're not Whitesnake, dude, we're Poison. I thought we were Quiet Riot. Says here we're Rat. Rat. Twisted Sister was a little more unique. I only found out 2 days ago that it was Rat that did Round and Round. For years I thought it was Motley Crue, Cinderella, Poison, Guns N' Roses, or Skid Row, maybe Skinny Puppy or Bad English. She's My Cherry Pie was written in like 15 minutes after a producer told the band to make a song that sounded like Pour Some Sugar on Me. So many. It had its own distinct sound and everyone wanted to emulate that sound. Down to the generic lead singer high voice to the guitar riffs and same sounds. Lots of great music, but so many didn't stand out from the others. Some were just the knock-off, generic version of other bands. Copy but not quite as good. Def Leppard is who came to mind for me. Having a hard time deciding if they're generic or quintessential, though. It's a fine line between those two qualities. Probably one that you wouldn't even think about, like OneRepublic. Who are they? I have no idea, I just know that they have a generic sound and play on the radio. They're old, but not that old. They're young but not that bold. If the Disney cruise ship was a band it would be OneRepublic. From what I remember the band is one guy who was a super producer/songwriter for other top 40 artists who decided he had the hairline/jawline combo to just sell the songs himself. The Today Show did a whole piece on him years ago. That tells you all you need to know because they also regularly interview cruise ships. I like to apologize with Timbaland. It's appealing. I read your comment and it started playing inside of my brain. That is impressive. Those two men have spent their entire lives practicing writing songs that have the hooks that velcro onto the specific parts of a human's mind that causes their feet to tap and hips to gyrate. I tend to like Timbaland as an artist more than that Ryan Tedder dude. I feel like both will be discussed in the future, but Timbaland would get a spotlight section and a header in the textbook and 3 discussion questions, while OneRepublic would be a footnote. Lots of decent competent music is forgotten. Por ejemplo, the Australian band Mental as Anything who totally existed for decades and made good music that was kind of generic and never became part of the DNA/vernacular of global pop. Lots of Salieri's, very few Mozarts. It's kind of strange to me that the top 3 comments were all Imagine Dragons. I'm not saying people should like it, but every time I hear a song from them the first time I immediately know it's from them, and I'm normally horrible at attributing songs to bands. That would suggest they have distinctive sound. A generic band would blend in with everyone else. Good Charlotte is what a TV screenwriter would make up for an ABC Family show if they had only listened to one Yellow Card and one Simple Plan song before writing the script. Guys wrote a song about the rich and famous and then married Nicole Richie and Cameron Diaz. They are so generic that 50% of the members are genetically the same person. The screenwriter wrote a trio, was told to make it a quartet and just grudgingly hit copy-paste and mumbled something about twins. Good Charlotte were actually doing the whole pop/punk/emo/rapper/street culture/high-end fashion crossover thing like 10 years before Machine Gun Kelly, Travis Barker, Juice WRLD and Lil Uzi Vert started doing it. Do I like the pop/punk/emo/rapper/street culture/high-end fashion crossover thing? Not really. But is it interesting that Good Charlotte of all people predicted a huge modern trend in music? Yeah. Travis Barker was in the Aquabats, Blink-182 and the Transplants. He's at worst a contemporary of Good Charlotte. I mean, it seems weird for a nearly 50-year-old guy to still be running around helping 30-year-old guys make music for angry 16-year-olds. But to his credit, he was pretty much right there when it was first coming around. My wife loves Good Charlotte, so I put some songs on our car playlist. I can't explain why, but every time one of those songs comes on I just find it so boring. Was Good Charlotte ever popular with adults? I figured that was a band whose audience was just kids. It's simple, easy to listen to, but pretty boring once you've heard what else is out there, but kids hadn't heard what else is out there. For me, it would be Maroon 5. I had scored a free ticket to see them through my work. I actually had no idea who they were, I just knew they were popular. Turns out, they made a whole bunch of songs I'd heard before. It would have never occurred to me they were all by the same band. Either I assumed they were all by different bands, or, more likely, I never thought very much about them at all, because they were just generic popular songs. And I'm not implying here that generic means bad. I actually don't mind most of their songs. It's just that, to me, they'll always be synonymous with random popular band. I wouldn't call Maroon 5 a rock band, I would call them a pop band. I didn't expect to see Maroon 5 this far down the line. Their first album was a pretty good alternative rock album with a lil funk thrown in. Less quirky than college rock but more pop than the Foo Fighters. It what happened, but for the past decade Maroon 5 feels like a hologram created by a boardroom of executives. Is there a stronger phrase than selling out? Imagine Dragons. Nickelback is super generic, but at least their old stuff is fun for nostalgia. LOL. The thing about Nickelback is that Chad, yes, lead songer's name is a mean name, is okay with it because he gets to live a life he wants to live. In one interview he pleaded with readers to just look at this photograph, every time I do it makes me laugh. Nickelback made a choice to make songs that would do well on the top 100. They showed they are capable to play hard rock, but they also saw those songs didn't do as well. I'm not a Nickelback fan, but I got free tickets to their latest tour. They put on a good show and it was 2 hours of nostalgia. 7 out of 10 would do again. Their first album Curb was amazing. The next one, The State, was pretty good. Silver Side Up wasn't bad. Everything else was terrible. It's got to be one of the rock bands that gets played on MOR or Variety Radio but not on rock radio, e.g. Train, The Fray, One Republic. Went to a Train concert, in truly MOR fashion, I didn't want to but did not object. Never sought their music out, but knew every song they played. Knew most of the words to the songs they played. It was surreal. But, they were just having a nice time and making sure the whole crowd had a nice time, and the whole thing was just so damn pleasant. They're like the golden retrievers of rock bands. I have always found the music of the band Foreigner to be very generic rock. I feel like they are the band that Nickelback and Imagine Dragons emulated in terms of broad and offensive radio/stadium rock. I want to be mad at this, because I love Foreigner. TBH, they are that band that everyone knows their songs but most people don't know who plays them. Dave Matthews Band. Every song sounds like a revamp of a previous song. You think Dave Matthews is standard rock music? Say why you will about them, they're recognizable. If you played me some Dave Matthews Deep Cut, I'd probably say it sounds like Dave Matthews Band in the first 10 seconds. I wouldn't say sounds like some generic rock band. This exactly. DMB has got an extremely unique sound, Dave's voice, the songwriting style, the instrumentation, Beaufort's drumming, it's all very unique to the band. I'm by no means a fan, but they definitely have a unique sound. Foo Fighters. The first couple records where Dave played the drums and guitar sounded so much more energetic. I wish they retained that sound. They have a few standout tracks for me. But there were a lot of later singles that felt paint by numbers for sure. I'd have trouble naming more than 2 or 3 Foo Fighters songs post-2005, and for much of that time I worked at radio stations that had them in heavy rotation. As much as I love their first 3 or 4 albums, everything else is just wallpaper. Pleasant sounding, but still wallpaper. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.